Hello, beautiful souls. It is so lovely to have you here with me. I am jumping in here to share how to connect with your deeper energy and connecting to your intuition to give you some quick answers here and there by using a pendulum. So, if you're not familiar, this is a pendulum. When I first started using one of these or thought about using one of these, I was like, wow, what kind of witchy thing is that? But as I've evolved on my path, I've realized just how easy they are to use and how they've really improved my ability to connect to my intuition. So, going to be pretty brief with it. But wanted to give you this as a tool that you can use. So when you're having days where you're not having clarity, you're looking for answers, and you're just not quite sure where to turn, you can turn inside. You don't need somebody else. You don't need a reader. You don't need a psychic. All you need is you. So, and the cool thing about this is you can do it with a pendulum or you can do it with your body. And I'll show you that too. That's called the sway technique with muscle testing. It's actually really exciting. So, how does it work? When you're using a pendulum, pendulums can, by the way, this is the one that was calling to me, just like with crystals. When you go into a shop where there are pendulums, you want to go to the one that's calling you, not the prettiest, not the most expensive or most reviewed. You want the one that's calling you, the one that's calling your energy. And you'll know which one that is just by being there. And you can pick it up, play with it, hold it, feel what feels right for you. And just like with a crystal, you want to spend time with it. So whether that's keeping it in your pocket, having it next to your bed, wearing it. Some of them are actually necklaces, so you can wear it too. Connecting with it, spending some time with it, getting your energy and its energy kind of accustomed to each other. Very important. And also clearing the energy to make sure you can smudge it with some sage. There's several different techniques that you can use for clearing the energy from it, but definitely important before you get started. But pendulums work by tuning into your subconscious mind. So we're constantly using our conscious mind. That's what we're here. That's what our actions, our waking actions are. But our subconscious mind is always going to. So that's where our intuition comes in, that gut feeling, following from your heart, your soul. All of that is kind of related to your subconscious, and that's where this comes in handy. So this actually will tune into your subconscious mind rather than your conscious mind. And it does that by giving you answers. So you have to always ask yes or no answers. It's not going to tell you, if you're going to ask where you left your keys, it's not going to be able to tell you left them in the garage. It's going to give you a yes or a no. So you need to make sure you're using yes or no questions. And having that intention of the question. But before you get started with any of that, you have to figure out what the energy is with your pendulum. So by doing that, you always start with a couple yes or no questions that you already know the answer to. And it'll either go back and forth, it'll go side to side, or it'll go in a circular motion. It just kind of depends on what's going on with your energy. Everybody's a little different. So each time you do this, you want to make sure that you are always asking those few questions at the beginning to make sure you know what is a yes and what is a no. So, for example, we'll start here with my name is Candace. And you just give it a minute, sometimes not even a full minute, and concentrate on your question. And as you can see, it's starting to go front and backwards pretty heavily. So my name is Candace. So let me ask a question that I know is a no. Is my dog in the room right now with me? We'll wait. As you can see, it's going the opposite way, side to side. So sometimes it'll go in a circular motion for your yes or no. It kind of depends. Everybody's a little bit different. So find out what is your yes, what is your no. And then you can use that to ask different questions too. For example, let's see, what would be a good question for me to ask right now? Of course, when I'm trying to think of a question right off the bat, it doesn't happen. Am I going to eat a brownie today? So as you can see, it's going side to side. So that's a no. That's a no for me. Another interesting thing to know about using pendulums. It interacts with your energy today. How your energy is today is going to be different how it is tomorrow. So if you're asking big questions like, am I supposed to be with this person? The answer you get today might be different than the answer you get tomorrow. And that's all based on how your subconscious energy is feeling. For example, I asked before if I'm ever going to have children. And it was like a big no. Like, oh no, you're not. But that was with the partner that I was with who had already, we talked about, wouldn't be having children. So if I were to get with another partner and then ask that, it might say something different. So it's not like a forever yes or no thing, but it does help you give some clarity on what you're doing. I actually used this a lot when I was dating. When I was having that like gut feeling of, oh, I really don't want to go out tonight on a date. I don't feel confident. I don't feel comfortable. It would help me tune into whether that was a no for me because I'm not supposed to meet this person, or it would be a bad interaction, or if it was a fear that was holding me back and I just needed to really push myself out of my comfort zone to get out there, and then it would have been either a good connection or a good friend or whatever needed to happen from that. So this is a really great way to work with the little things in life that you kind of just, you wish you had answers on. So that's where this can really come in handy. It can also, I mean, big questions too, like, hey, should I take this trip? Use one of these. It's a great way to tune into your intuition and find out what is true for you. What is true for you is not true for somebody else. So keep that in mind as well. But it's really neat because you can use the same process with a pendulum as you can with your body. So you don't have to go and buy one of these pretty little things. You can actually do it with your own body. So let me see if I can stand up and show you this. It's called muscle testing. You can do it with like your hands. But the sway method is my favorite. It's the one that I was taught originally. And it's the same thing. You ask yourself the yes or no questions to get started, to find out what is yes and what is no for you. And your body will either move forward or it'll move backwards. If it's not quite sure, if it's a weak yes or no, you'll kind of like wobble there in the middle. If it's like a really strong yes or no, you'll go like, you'll feel yourself pull backwards or forward. So I'm going to show you really quick. So let me get standing up here. So if I were to stand here, hopefully you can still hear me. Should I go through the woods on a hike today? You can see my body really pushed me forward for that. Let's see, what's another good question? Should I go to Michael's craft store and get more paint today? So that's a no. Sometimes you can ask, you can use this for so many different things. It's hard to come up with questions right off the bat, but that's kind of how it works. So you can do the muscle sway. You'll see your body go back and forth based on the yes or the no, but make sure you're checking what is a yes and what is a no for you before you get started on that. It's definitely a great tool. It's one of the first tools that I started using when I got into my spiritual practice. It's helped me make some very big decisions when I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with myself. It's also helped me when I had really hard days and it was hard to just get out of bed. Being able to say, ugh, is this for me today or not for me? Especially when it comes to, where you're putting your energy. A lot of times I would ask, like, if I had an event that someone invited me to go to, but I wasn't feeling super excited about, I would use the pendulum or the sway method to help me figure out if I was feeling off about it because I wasn't meant to be there, or if I was feeling off about it because I was standing in my own way, again, with fear. So it'll help push you out of your comfort zone by giving you that, oh, okay, my soul, my subconscious mind actually is a yes for this. So let me get out of my own way, pull myself together, and get through it. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you've used a pendulum, if you've used the sway method before, or if you have any other kind of muscle testing that you use personally. And let me know if this works for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. And thank you so much for watching this with me and letting me teach you some new high vibe tools. If you're not already following me, follow me online on Facebook with Journey with Your Soul. I also have a YouTube channel and Instagram. So again, I'm Candace. It's so great to see you guys again, and enjoy the rest of your day.